Hi, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Okay, so I'm hovering, as you saw this earlier, 8.8, fully calibrated. Pretty higher night, but not super high. Okay, let's get a little bit better light here. There we go. You can see my eye a bit more. Okay, 85, 15, 85, and the average is 8.2. But I went over this on yesterday's video, so we're not going to spend too much time on this today. What I really would like to discuss today is, do we really need a GP or general practitioner as a diabetic? We'll be right back and we'll discuss that. Brings up some interesting points. Stay tuned. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. As a type 1 diabetic, we see so many doctors. Once I got on to having an endocrinologist in my adult years, I saw her. I had an eye doctor. I had a podiatrist. I had a sleep apnea doctor. It was overwhelming. But why do we need to see a GP? We're seeing a whole bunch of other doctors. Well, first of all, any specialist you need to go see, they can recommend or refer is probably the better terminology. And we're going and, see, it's like an old movie. I can move my hand up in front of the light. But they're there for your general health. If you come down with the flu, your diabetes doctor will take care of your diabetes while fighting the flu. Your GP will prescribe a medication to help you with the symptoms. Well, wouldn't it make more sense to have one doctor do it all? Well, you can't really have one doctor do it all because not everyone's great or has an interest in diabetes. So, no, they can't do it all. If you have sort of a rash, you have an infected sore, that may be your first line of defense. I can remember I went to my GP because my leg got red and sore. And she took a look at it and said, "Yeah, I think you need IV antibiotics. You better head to emergency." I got to emergency. So, did she do much? Well, it was kind of brought up during seeing my endo about another concern. A lot of times, if you need specialized care, they're the first line. When we were starting to look for me to be placed in a residence here, we were placed into the system, but I first needed a referral of my GP. And then, as we moved on, then became the endocrinologist and all my doctors. Do I have the same GP I did then now? No. When I moved into this facility, they gave me a doctor. I didn't really have to go out searching for a GP in this area. I didn't get rid of my old doctor, but out here they have a doctor. Each patient is assigned a locum or a GP here. They take care of clarification on orders, some basic update on prescriptions. That is all your GP. What does your endocrinologist do? Well, your endocrinologist can prescribe, but it's limited to the diabetes, or podiatry. It would be to things related to podiatry. Your ophthalmologist, had to think I always get optometrist and ophthalmologist mixed up. The optometrist does eyeglasses. The ophthalmologist is eye surgeon. So basically, if you're looking at your eyes, an optometrist takes care of any basic things to do and make sure you can see correctly. An ophthalmologist would deal with diseases of the eye. So for us, if we want a pair of glasses in order to see better, we would go to an optometrist. If we go to need, like for my diabetes, and for years I had the retinal laser surgery, not to see better, but to make sure blood vessels in the back of my eye didn't burst. That is why I went to an ophthalmologist. My endocrinologist didn't really do much in that point. She had a little bit of knowledge. It's kind of like your GP coordinates everything. There's a lot of paperwork. So, do we actually need a GP? Yes. Is it harder to find one? Yes. Some people have gone to start to use a walk-in clinic. Okay? If that's what you need to see a doctor, awesome. Go and see the walk-in clinic. I personally have always been lucky. I had Dr. Trevor Smith. Then I had another doctor I won't name because he's the one who, I don't know if he actually did it as much as I play it in my mind. But then I took a long time, and then I finally, my friends got me to see a Dr. Patante, and she was my GP for many years. And it wasn't until I moved out here and came in here, I saw her as my GP. If my eye got kind of irritated or I fell and scraped my knee, you'd go see her. She was well versed in my diabetes care, but she didn't make the decisions about what medications to be on, how often I needed to test. And there was nothing wrong with that. It's sort of like GP, we have to think about being their own specialist. So yes, do we need a GP? Yes. Sorry. Got something on my eyelash there. There, that's better. So it's important that once you're diagnosed, if you don't have a family doctor, you need to find one. There was a very higher shortage of doctors, of family doctors in BC. Everyone wanted to be a specialist. But in later years, we've been able to find doctors, and it's still a little difficult, but you are able to find it. In BC, in most areas, there is a college of physicians that you can contact and say you need a doctor. My mom, in later years, didn't have a GP. If we needed anything, she would have to go into emergency. There were a couple of days she was taken from our home, was taken to emergency. Well, and also she had a heart condition. So we finally got her a GP. The local hospital helped us. So you're probably going to be asked, do you see a GP? In Canada, we're lucky, excuse me, in that it's covered by our pharmacare system. So you may have to do a little bit of searching, but you can get a GP. And then build a relationship with that GP. A lot of times, if you need to go see an endocrinologist, an ophthalmologist, a sleep apnea doctor, you all need to be referred from a GP. So it's easier just to have a GP. You don't need to go see them every 6 months. You could if you like, but you don't need to. But they're there to coordinate your care. It's pure and simple. Yes, you need a GP. Don't put it off. Find a GP. And with that, have a great day, and we'll talk later. Bye now. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.